This is Anime Out of Context, a comedy review podcast hosted by a weeb of the highest order, alongside a cynical man who knows nothing about anime. Our show features spoilers, explicit language, and poor fact-checking. Neither of our hosts are experts on any topic, and none of their opinions should be taken as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And because I'm terrible at everything else, I decide to start a cult.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
God damn you, Remington.
I would like to point out that this is completely separate from our pre-banter and has nothing, legally speaking, to do with our pre-banter. That was entirely separated from it. So for all of our patrons, they're not correlated in any way.
You're starting to sound like, I don't know, the subject of the pre-banter. Which is not a good thing to sound like.
So how are you doing this week, Shaun?
I mean, my spirits are a little down, all things considered. I mean, the country is in shambles. Our Cheeto in chief is being a bit more ridiculous than usual, which is saying something. I had to tell a very awkward, embarrassing story. I could be in better services. But hopefully this podcast is just what I need to cheer myself up a little bit.
And it'll be just the thing to dim my spirits a bit in equal measure.
I mean, yeah, we do have this kind of weird, like, ethereal connection between us where if your spirits dip down a little bit, I can somehow gain some positive emotions from it, which is largely considered to be an unhealthy response.
Yeah.
But I think it works out for us, honestly, because we get too full of ourselves more often than not.
I mean, we're pretty full of ourselves. I mean, just think, once every single week, we just speak into microphones so that the world can hear our voices.
Yeah, and we put it out, not only that, but we put it out to the world and we try to pass it off as comedy.
Oh, fine. It takes a complete lack of self-awareness and a bunch just oodles of vanity to try and do that.
Well, it's a good thing that we're covering anime then, isn't it?
And what specifically, what type of anime are we jumping into this week?
Well, Remington, I've been hard at work. You know me. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been studying various shows, various interesting premises that could be very fun and interesting to talk about on the show. Maybe get your interesting and horrible opinions on them. Try and figure out what kind of story we're really going to delve into these days.
I just want to reaffirm to any newer listeners, when Shaun says research, it's not that he's poring over different fun facts about all these different shows, getting into the deep lore of all of them. He's just being a fucking weeb, and he's just watching goddamn anime. I don't want any of our listeners to think too highly about the process, about how this podcast is.
Hey, no, I do a little more than just watch the anime. I also read the Mal page.
There you go.
But in all seriousness, when there are topics in it that I think might come up, I do a little extra research. Like when there's some Japanese folklore and culture stuff coming in, I like to make sure I have at least a rudimentary understanding of that so I can better explain it to Remington when he has questions.
And boy, do I always have questions. So, and what have you been researching this week, Shaun?
A lot of hentai to start with. Oh, no, wait, that wasn't research. That was my personal time. Excuse me.
Fuck. I'm dead. I'm already in the abyss.
Oh, Rem, you know me better than that. You know I don't consume copious amounts of hentai. I keep it classy. Only one or two every, couple hours.
All right. Well, hopefully none of that is getting onto this podcast. What? Ignoring everything you've just said for the past 2 minutes. What the fuck are we doing this week that hopefully doesn't include tentacles?
Ooh, about that.
Oh no.
So Rem, the anime we're going to talk about today has some interesting philosophies, you might say.
Oh, that good old word, interesting. All right. And by interesting philosophies, I don't suppose you mean 20th century French existentialism or Aristotelian ethics. I don't suppose that's the route you're going down with this.
I mean, it depends on how you define the philosophy of a fujoshi.
Wait, excuse me? What?
Oh, Rem, I've explained this term to you multiple times. How have you forgotten?
It's not ringing any bells at all.
Well, you'll recognize it as soon as I describe it. So Remington, Fujoshi is a type of anime fan, to be specific. It is defined simply as like the word directly translates to spoiled girl or rotten girl or
okay.
Yeah. And it's a Japanese term for female fans of very predominantly yaoi and boy love and male on male romances.
Here we fucking go. Okay, yep, okay. I vaguely recall, yes.
Yes. It's originally, like a lot of anime identification terms, it's originally a derogatory term, of course. But much like the weeb, there are plenty of people out there who are like, yes, I am a Fujoshi.
They've reclaimed the title.
Yeah, exactly. I love it when I watch them boys kiss. That's some good stuff. And there's actually the male equivalent, which I think is a fudanshi, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. But so it's just a type of a fan of a certain genre of thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's perfectly okay to enjoy that type of media. Like, after all, when we covered Yuri on Ice, me and Remington were practically fudanshis ourselves because we loved it so much.
Yeah, but I imagine to be a proper one, you gotta like search that out and be like, I'm all in. Like, enjoying specific instances of it, I don't think makes you like a categorical fan.
That's fair enough. But honestly, I think it's fine. Like, there are people who have their different tastes and like it. And honestly, there's some great yaoi stories out there and some great manga. There's also some horrible ones, but the tropes that we got from those horrible ones are fantastic. I can't wait till I get to show you examples of things like yaoi hands, because that is hilarious.
Oh boy.
But no, so the show we're going to be talking about today is a show about a Fujoshi. Specifically.
Okay. So this is in the line of shows about weebs or about what was the term, Shaun? Chinibios?
Otaku?
No. So this is in the line of shows about weebs, otakus, chinibios. It's about showing the anime fans themselves.
A little bit, and a good one will often show how ridiculous they can be, as well as the benefits of being a fan, the culture, or just have some genuinely funny and like, haha, that's true interactions. Because let's be honest, the people who love to make fun of anime fans the most are other anime fans.
True.
We've all seen weebs kicking down other weebs in a loving but very violent manner, so that's to be expected. And sometimes these shows can be really good. They can be filled with awesome comedy and really entertaining premises and some fun characters.
Yeah.
And this one just happens to focus around a Fujoshi in particular. Her name is I want to say. God, I want to say it's because my American brain, my English speaking brain, wants to pronounce this as K, but I'm pretty sure it's like Kaye or something like that, or Kaya. I don't know.
I'm sufficiently confused on what the fuck is going on right now.
So I'm just gonna call her Kai for now.
Okay, sure.
Kai Saranuma is a very kind second-year girl at her high school. Oh, by the way, the title of this anime, Remington, is a bit interesting.
Oh no.
It's simply titled "Watashi ga Mototete Dosunada."
Yes.
Or Dosunda. Yeah, Dosunda. There we go. Japanese is hard, folks. But that title directly translates to "Kiss him, not me!" exclamation mark.
Oh, okay. That's, first of all, is this some light novel bullshit?
I don't think it's a light novel. I think it's a manga adaptation, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm surprised with that.
Yeah, it's
title.
a manga adaptation. Yeah, no, it's a pretty short one for a light novel, but I can see what you're saying, where it's
got that same vibe.
Yeah, it's a sentence, and it's not really a title. It's even got a comma in there. It's "Kiss him, not me!" exclamation mark, because that's important.
All right,
punctuation's important.
So I'm gonna guess that she fantasizes about two of her classmates, but one of her classmates has a crush on her, and she's like, nah.
Well, you see, Remington. Let me just get the synopsis for you.
All right. Let's hear it.
So Kaye is a very kind second-year high school student. and devoted otaku. There is a little known fact about her, though. She is actually secretly a fujoshi. She's obsessed with BL or boys love. Saranuma can't help but fantasize about her, and she can't help but fantasize about her male classmates falling for each other and enjoys imagining them together. A very more known fact, however, about her is that she is actually incredibly overweight.
Oh, okay.
And
We'll see how that's handled.
I don't know, Rem. It could be handled in a very interesting way because we don't see very many female figures in anime with differing body types.
And those we do, it is usually not very flattering or tactful.
Yes. So, and we're getting more and more these days of things like that. And a lot of these up-and-coming workout anime, there are different people with somewhat different body types that makes things interesting.
Ah, yes, workout anime, like Anime de Training X.
Yes, well, we've talked about that one. We don't need to talk about that one ever again. But we're getting better and better. Like, it's just one of those things that with the times things change and we get more and more good stuff mixed in with the tropey crap. So yeah, she constantly fantasizes about the guys in her class and around her being in relationships with each other because it's a fun little cute little pastime that she has. However, one day, while watching one of her favorite anime, her all-time favorite character is killed off permanently.
Hell yeah, those are the best moments.
Oh, yeah.
When someone you just fucking love and you're all in and they tragically die. Great moments.
Yeah, the problem is, she herself does not handle it like you or I would because we're sick fucks who love the dark twists of a story. She is devastated. She is heartbroken. She is destroyed emotionally and physically. Because she's so depressed, she can't muster up the energy to eat meals or even attend school.
Oh, fuck. Is this going to be, all right, so she just stops eating, so then she gets thin, and all of a sudden, she's, like, super attractive, and all guys are into her, but she still doesn't give a shit, or some bullshit like that?
And after an entire week, she mentally recovers. But unfortunately, or in some cases fortunately, she has lost so much weight and has somehow become strikingly beautiful.
This is so dumb.
And now she's catching the eye of everyone who sees her, including all of the guys who are downright mean and cruel to her because of her weight and how she was an otaku. And now she is in the center of attention from 4 or 5 boys, though they all have suddenly fallen for her, and all she really wants is for them to stay away and to fall in love with each other instead. And this is our first introduction to a proper reverse harem show, Remington. How excited are you?
I already hate it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, for like almost every reason. I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, you don't think that this could turn out to be a very wholesome tale of coming to realize who you are as a person on the inside?
No, so far it just sounds like it's a story about a bunch of immature assholes being immature assholes. And if I wanted that, I'd go watch Jersey Shore. Is that a relevant reference? Is that topical?
I don't think that is.
When was the last time that Jersey Shore existed? Let's see. All right, 2012, it looks like, is when it stopped.
So the world really did end in 2012 when Jersey Shore got canceled.
Oh, man. All right, well, there's...
What will we do without the situation, Remington?
There's my 8-year-old referential joke for you.
Hey, it's better than most of the ones I make, Rem.
It's true. We're really bad.
We may be millennials, but we've got some, what'd you call it, boomer energy?
Yeah, especially you. You have hardcore boomer energy. But this show, it doesn't seem like it's going to be great. Who knows? Maybe it'll surprise me. I'm not expecting it to.
I mean, Rem, it's got a 7.19 on Mal.
That's not high at all. That is, like, for weebs? Oh, fuck, they've rebelled against this.
Now, to be fair, it only has 107,000 scores on it. So it's a bit on smaller number size.
Oh, I don't understand weebs anymore. But, well, you know what? Let's see. Who knows? There's always a chance for some really, really surprising results here.
Yeah, we might get some healthy relationship advice from the show. You never know, Rem.
Yeah, who knows?
So, without further ado, let's jump into some Kiss Him, Not Me. Dun, dun, dun.
愛してる以上の言葉教えて君の心のと手に入れたいからその目に映るのは Please Please この手に気づいていつか
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after consuming 3 whole episodes of Kiss Him, Not Me. And Remington, how do you feel, man? Do you feel like you've gotten into the mind of Fujoshi?
What the absolute fuck did I just watch, Shaun?
I just told you, Rem. It's an anime called Kiss Him, Not Me.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. Everything.
Oh, Rem, what do you mean? What do you mean everything? Isn't this a nice chance to see some opposite ends of the spectrum? Because, I mean, primarily the harem anime we've covered have all been, one guy surrounded by lots of females. Now this is a reverse harem. I figured it would be a nice change of pace for you.
It's all the same old bullshit. It's not changing trends or usurping tropes. It's all the goddamn same.
Oh, it's very different, Remington.
I strongly disagree. So
Well, they all have
let's start
penises, Remington. That's the biggest difference. And trust
in anime you can never be sure.
Trust me, Remington, a single penis can make all the difference, and you can quote me on that.
Oh, what a line. So episode 1 starts out with a nice little volleyball game happening in the school, and we're introduced to Fat Kai. Kaie. Oh god.
Yep.
The worst of both worlds.
Yep.
So Kaie.
Okay, you don't just insult the entire Japanese language because you're not thrilled with this particular work.
It's different, and I'm an American, goddammit. So Kaie, and we get introduced to her being fat, and she's awkward and a misfit, and she's fat, and apparently being fat requires a completely different art style than everyone else is in.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rem. She looks like she melts with the world very perfectly and clearly.
Genuinely, it's as if she's from a Western cartoon and everyone else is in shoujo anime. And the same effect happens with her mom later. It's just they are not in the same show. When you get above a certain weight, you are not part of shoujo anime. You just cannot be in the same art style. God forbid you see a chubby pretty girl or a chubby handsome dude. That is forbidden in this world, apparently.
Well, that doesn't sound very body positive of you, Remington. Why aren't you?
It's not about it. It's not me saying it's
Remington.
the show.
Remington, come on now. There are plenty of people with different body types in the world, and I feel like you should just be a bit more accepting of these different frames. Everybody deserves love.
Listen here, motherfucker. I am not going to be accosted for the opinions presented, even tacitly, by this show. This is the equivalent of me being like, oh yeah, when Hitler said these anti-Semitic comments, oh wow, that was fucked up, and you being like, wow, those are some anti-Semitic comments, Remington. Why the fuck are you saying those? I wasn't. It was Hitler. What I'm saying is, Kiss Him, Not Me, Hitler would have loved it. So...
This just in,
so-
Hitler's favorite anime is Kiss Him, Not Me.
Who would have thunk it? He's really into boy love. So
He had to
one
be,
thing-
otherwise he wouldn't have been that angry.
So one thing, I really I dislike most weeb shows, I think, and when I say weeb shows, I mean shows that are about, oh look at me, I'm an otaku, look at me, I just love anime and manga so much. There are a couple decent ones, most of them are just absolute trash, and especially ones like this. Essentially, if I'm gonna display my bias here, but if you have a show about a weeb or otaku, you just need to destroy their hopes and dreams.
This is getting a little too real for me, Remington. I'm starting to draw some parallels, and
You need a Remington. type character, if you're gonna have a show about an otaku, someone who can just really grill him for it. Because, I mean, this whole show, Kaie, she's super self-conscious about being an otaku and liking anime and boy love, etc., right? But there is, like, no reason for her to. She was a little bit teased by her brother one time in one of the episodes, and that's it.
Yep.
And so it doesn't feel justified for her to be so self-conscious. It's essentially, even though it's a huge plot point, it's a meaningless plot point.
I mean, it's definitely a plot point that it takes from the idea of otaku culture, and it's very clearly of the mindset of someone who grew up in otaku culture back in the day when it was way more ridiculed than it actually is.
We need to ridicule it.
Well, hold on.
I'm kidding. You can watch whatever you would like. I will personally judge you for it, but society is much more accepting.
Says the
Asterisk.
WWE fan.
Oh, hell yeah. Mock me for that shit. WWE's god-awful. It is amazing talent in there, but oh boy, there are some flaws.
Some?
Nonetheless,
Some?
There's so many flaws.
Can I point you to the entire decade of the 80s?
Here's the thing, Shaun. Yeah, sure. Things like WWE, they are god-awful, and we can all acknowledge that as well. However, there are significantly fewer people going around who are using, like, CM Punk and acting as CM Punk as an ideal of charisma in their day-to-day life, or that are holding up the great romance of Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth and trying to have all romances fit within that exact box. Those things are far less common, and when they are, they should be very heavily mocked. But they're way less common than people thinking, oh yeah, all of these standards shown in these different anime, they are a perfectly acceptable way to go about your life, and they're just not. And this show is a great example of don't do anything that's within this show. Oh dear God, what the fuck?
What, you don't think it's appropriate to look at your classmates and think how great it would be if they just got together and started doing things?
Why can't we just have one anime that normalizes healthy adolescent relationships? Why does it always have to be the same awkward, terrible, very unhealthy bullshit? And not only is it the unhealthy bullshit that exists, but that is the stuff that is glorified in anime. That's like, oh, look how cute it is. No, it's not. Oh, God. So, anyway, let's take a breather, compose ourselves a little more as, then we get into the plot point you mentioned earlier where she gets sad about an anime she watched and then doesn't eat for like a week and then suddenly becomes super skinny and hot. And that's apparently how that works.
So wait, you're telling me, Remington, if I get very, very sad and stop eating, I can be the picture of manly beauty.
Yes, the secret to attractiveness is anorexic depression. And that is the ideal, apparently. And literally, it affects her in no way. It's as if, like, she becomes, I guess, a completely different person in the ways it wants her to be. But after a week, she's totally fine. Everything's past that. She occasionally cries over the weeby character, Shaun, or whatever the fuck.
I can't believe you don't remember the important character that changed her entire life.
Just you wait. I literally do not remember a single one of the guys' names.
But they're so important, Remington.
Are they? So we get introduced to the four main guys, right? And so they are as follows. There's two friends, one of whom is like your pretty standard like class leader type character. Then we have
Yusuke,
the bad boy asshole who's his best friend or whatever.
Yep,
and then we
Nozomu,
have
or Nanashima, whichever you prefer.
Well, but of course. Then we have the first year, he's a little bit younger, more naive.
Yep, that would be Shinomiya or Hayato.
Of course. And then we got the chill-ass dude.
Yep, that'd be Asuma.
All right. He's the only decent one. Everyone else, so basically, everyone is super surprised to see her be skinny and is like, oh my God, you're so fucking hot now. Oh, it's you? Holy shit, how'd that happen? Meanwhile, chill-ass bro, he's just like, oh, hey, what's up? And that's awesome. You know, they were friends beforehand. They're still friends now. They're super chill. It all works out. out he's the only one that's not a total fuckboy. Everyone else, total fuckboy.
This'll reaffirm your opinion. So on Mal, and I assume other different ones. I just use Mal because it's the easiest to access. They have just the little panels of the characters, and people can like put little hearts on them and vote for them, see which characters they like the most. He is the highest rated character in the entire show. So
I am pleasantly surprised he's the only non-fuckboy. And that's great. That's so nice. There's two good characters, one of which is Chill Ass Bro. The other one is her best friend. I only know her as A. I don't know her name. It's A-chan.
her name is Amane.
Okay. Kaie just calls her A-chan, so that's all I know of her.
Yeah.
So all of them are madly in love with her. They all want a date with her, so she agrees to go on a date with all of them together.
Yep. As you
Spend
do.
a day with all of them. Yeah, because obviously that's the best way to handle this, apparently.
It's like it's a gangbang of dating, you know? It's very healthy, it's very wholesome.
When Kaie is talking to her best friend A about this, A has a great line. She's convincing Kaie that like, oh, totally do it. This is the best way for you. After the death of your anime husbando, this is the only solution. And she has the line, a scar created by a man can only be healed by another man. And like that's a little bit self-aware. I like that. They need to do a little bit more of that because right now they're like, haha, see, we get it, but also that, yeah, though. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're like, haha, yeah, isn't that ridiculous? But we are doing that, though. It would be like Nestle coming out and being like, yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be fucked up if a company came around and said water wasn't a human right? But really, that is what we believe.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's you sort of lose the humor of the matter in that case.
We're gonna lose that sweet Nestle sponsorship. Oh no, what are we going to do?
Oh, fuck. Hey, if they want to pour like thousands of dollars into us, then you know what? Fuck poor people. Water should only be allowed for anybody Nestle deems is worthy. But until they do so, I'm actually going to have morals.
Yeah, and their crunch bars are awful. I don't get why they try to hold them as high in regards as other candy bars, but no, it's just a shameful candy bar.
So they all go on a date together and they watch a movie all together, and it's relatively meaningless. But then after seeing the movie, they're right across from like manga store or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're having a sale, and so Kaie is like, oh my god, I need this immediately, despite trying to hide the fact that she's an otaku. So she goes, she immediately buys a Shaun body pillow, which funny enough, that's how Shaun announced to me that he was a weeb. We were going on a very pleasant date, you know, it was all going swell, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the date, he was like, oh fuck, wait, there's a great deal on this body pillow, and he got a body pillow.
Yeah, do you at least remember the character that was on the body pillow, Remington?
Yes, obviously, the character on the body pillow was none other than an Akira-like abomination. And it was a bold choice. It was bold. Obviously, that wouldn't... If it was his first body pillow, he wouldn't have chosen that. But he had already had dozens. And so the novelty of an Akira abomination body horror body pillow.
What can I say? The tentacles envelop me in just the right ways. So now that we've gone on that tangent, Remington.
So yeah, she comes out with the body pillow and all the guys are just like, all right. And that's it. Like they build it to be like, oh, is this going to be a moment? No, they're just like, oh, would you look at that? And that's it.
Yep.
It is one of the only conflicts within the entire show. And every time it gets brought up, it's shrugged away.
Because it's almost like it's not that big of a deal in this day and age.
So dumb. So then we get to episode 2. Episode 2, we start out with some more sports, right? They're playing some sports, and Kaie is amazing at sports, as it turns out. Because she is skinny, she is also athletic. Didn't you know? That's how that works.
Wait. So you're telling me that if I stop eating for a week, not only will I be beautiful. Oh, and I have to get very sad too. That's important.
Yes.
Not only will I be beautiful and all the guys will love me, but I can also kick that ball real good.
You're damn right, Shaun. You will have talent like you've never had before. Why? Who knows? The science is still out on it.
My sports ball powers will be immeasurable. I might even get one of them scholarships. I might be able to be a sports hero, like in my Japanese animes.
So, which unironically is a citation that Kaye uses, which is literally something that Shaun has mentioned before.
Look, I can forgive that because that's a little too real for my tastes. It's happened in the past, and not just to me.
Yeah. So a few girls who see Kaye be really great at sports are like, hey, we need someone to replace a different player for our soccer game. Are you interested? And the best friend character, she reasonably points out, well, yeah, just because you're good at some sports doesn't mean you're specifically good at soccer, because she is the only voice of reason besides Chill Ass Bro in this entire goddamn show. Those are the only two good characters. So they point that out, but it doesn't.
To point out, best friend character doesn't even make the top 10 on.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Weebs, you had a good first pick, but you're missing out on the best friend character.
Yeah, like let me just double check. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh nope, she's at number 10.
Oh, disappointing.
Want to know what makes it even better?
What?
The character that died in her favorite anime ranks 2 places higher than her.
I hate everyone. I hate all of you. You can't even have the right opinions about trashy shows. Come on.
Granted, it's a small sample size and people aren't really voting for them as much, but still, that's funny as fuck.
So something that's a bit annoying about the show is that, like, the personalities of any of the characters really do not matter. It's literally, they just all exist to be attractive and be put in attractive scenarios, and that's the whole show, and it doesn't really work. So there's soccer practice. She's real bad because they acknowledge that she's not coordinated or fit or athletic just because she is skinny all of a sudden, even though she appeared to be all of those things, but now she is the antithesis of all of those things, because who the fuck gives a shit? And so she ends up, whenever she kicks the soccer ball, it ends up going behind her instead of in front of her. They do have one decent moment where she's been practicing. They set up this super intense moment where it looks like she's actually going to make progress, but then she kicks herself in the head with the ball, and that's a nice moment.
You just like watching them get hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, just give me that weeb pain. But she ends up using that to be the star player and be super amazing in the actual game, showing just how great she is. The second half of this episode, because apparently they couldn't focus on one thing for an entire episode, the second half is all about tests and making sure that she passes so she doesn't have to do essentially summer school, right?
Right.
This is when we also see Kaye's mom, who is overweight, and she does very heavy makeup because there are cute boys in the house, and she just exists to be a fat comedy character. Wow, how original. So they're all just studying. She's hid all of her otaku boy love bullshit. At one point, they find the shrine that she has for Shaun. And you know what? Here's another message to all the weebs out there. If you have a shrine to your waifu or your husbando, don't. Just don't do that.
I mean,
don't. That's not acceptable in like 99% of circumstances, and you might think, well, I'm in the 1%, I am the exception, but fuck you, no you're not. You're definitely fucking not.
What is that 1% range of acceptability to have a shrine of a fictional character, Remington?
The 1% range of acceptability, it has a few tenets. It is if you actually have a yandere girlfriend who is threatening you that she needs this character in her life, oh my god, and it's like she's super attractive, but also, dear god, she's gonna kill you one of these days. So you create a shrine to her favorite characters to sort of appease appease her. Plus, she's been getting super paranoid lately, so that might ease up on that. And so you figure, all right, you do that, and it actually works a decent bit. And that would be your chance to escape, but you foolishly don't escape at this time. Instead, you decide to preserve things for a few more months. All the while, your mental health is diminishing at an ever-increasing rate, and you are going insane. All the while, the altar is there, and occasionally you have to honor it, because otherwise she's gonna lose her fucking rocker. And so you keep going at until eventually you break up, not amicably at all. Should have left when you could have. Now it's real bad. And then you can finally take it down.
That?
Or so I've heard.
Rem, do we need to have a talk?
So continuing.
Oh, God. That got a little too real even for me.
I would expect it to be a more common experience than any of us would like to admit. But, yeah, so don't have a shrine. Nonetheless, similar to before, all of the different guys are just like, oh, that's weird. Sure, we'll honor the shrine with you. And they all just do that, and nothing matters. Kaie's brother shows up, and he's like, but have you seen all of her boy love? And he shows them all of her boy love manga, and they're like, oh, that's somewhat surprising. And then Chill Ass Bro is like, I don't care, and every other guy's like, yeah, I don't care either, and that's the whole bit, and that's episode 2.
It's funny how every time one of her quote-unquote flawed features gets brought up, Chill Fella is just like, that's fine, I don't see why there's a problem, and then all the other three sycophantly go, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
It's because Chill Ass Bro is the only one who actually cares about her as a person, and don't get me wrong, I don't care about her as a person. She's a bit mediocre, boring, and shit. But at least he does. Everyone else, they just have been blue-balled, and they just want to fuck, and that's it. That's all they want to do. It's, oh god. I can smell the fedora fumes emanating from them, Shaun.
But they're too pretty to wear fedoras, Remington.
No, see, they're the pretty ones who wear fedoras that make every other weeb think they can do it. It's their fault. So, episode 3, it's all about the culture festival at school, which is a thing they do.
Yeah, that's a very common thing to be done in Japanese society.
Which is just essentially like find a fun thing that is vaguely cultural and you're set and do that.
I mean, it's a chance to celebrate culture as well as to have a fun festival with your friends, as well as promote, work ethics, working together to achieve a common goal. There's plenty of reasons to do it. It's a very fun tradition.
I like the idea. And so immediately suggested for the theme of the festival for this class is a maid cafe, which, oh dear God, why?
That's also a very common one, actually.
And Kaie is like, hell yeah, let's do maid cafe. And then they settle on doing cosplay instead, which, sure, why not? Mm-hmm. So Kaie decides she's going to make adorable outfits for all of the guys, except Chill Ass Bro. I don't really know why Chill Ass Bro isn't a part of it, but he's not.
Because he probably wouldn't care if he was in the outfit or not.
Yeah, so he's not a part of getting a costume, but everyone else is, including the younger one who, even though he's not in their class, he needs an outfit because his class is doing a play and he's playing the princess. And the only explanation for that is he lost rock, paper, scissors, and they don't go into any more detail. What?
I mean, come on, Remington. Isn't it funny to have a guy play a princess?
Don't get me wrong, it can be. However, in my opinion, it's not really as funny if, like, they don't want to do it. Like, if you have a guy who goes whole hog into it, sure. But, I don't know, having a young schoolboy being forced to cross-dress in front of all of his peers seems like something where, like, someone should step in. That doesn't seem like a culture festival. That seems like bullying.
Don't be ridiculous, Remington.
If you cross-dress, that's totally fine. If you force others to cross-dress when they don't want to, that's where you get some problems.
Okay, see, now this is what I would like to bring up from the last time you tried to get me to wear a dress, Mr. Remington.
No, that's different, Shaun. You would just look so adorable.
And the point is, yes, I did, and I appreciate that. But I just want to make sure you're aware of your own personal biases.
So she stresses a little bit about making the outfits, but then she does, and there's not really much to. Every time the show like implies tension, 10 seconds later it's over. Things just happen in this show, and it's like it doesn't know if it wants to be slice of life or proper romance or not. It has no idea. So it keeps bouncing back and forth, and it's just confused.
Aw, but Remington, didn't you at least appreciate the several Attack on Titan references?
Wasn't a huge fan of those. It took me a second to realize them, and I hate that I recognized them. Attack on Titan, super overrated show. But you can go listen to our episode on that if you want
It's
to be
easily
angry
the
at me.
episode that has gotten us the most angry feedback aside from our most recent ones.
I don't know. It's in the top 5 most angry for sure, but I don't know if it's number 1. It was number 1 at the time.
Yeah.
So then they're all walking home together, apparently, and they're all talking about like, oh, gonna enjoy the festival. Finally, I don't know, main dude, bro. He seems like the main dude. I don't know his name. He's the one with no prominent characteristics about him other than sort of being in charge. And so he is like, hey, actually, I would like to go to the festival like alone with you. I don't really want to do this whole like weird group thing that we've been doing for a couple weeks.
His name is Yusuke or Igarashi, if that helps. It doesn't.
Sure, why not? So good old Yusuke, he says that, which, you know, props to actually saying this. Everyone is uncomfortable with the current arrangements, including Kaie, but no one is saying anything. And that's that lack of communication is how you get toxic bullshit. So they all decide amongst themselves to schedule Kaie's time without any of her consent or input, because don't you know, women are just objects that you can schedule your time around. They are nothing but adolescent playthings, apparently.
I don't like that description.
I also don't like that description, Shaun. Take it up with Kiss Him Not Me and the scriptwriters for it.
I don't think I
So,
will, because I don't want to know what goes through their minds personally.
So they all have their different little dates, and so going around and taking pictures or eating a meal together or watching the play together or going to a little haunted classroom type deal. In the haunted classroom with the young dude, they have the old trope, oh, he gets spooked and he falls on top of her and his face lands right into her breasts. Oh no! And she gets super overwhelmed and she starts crying because of all of the stress that all of these different guys and their affection are putting on her, which is reasonable. It's an emotional toll. You would think that like maybe communicating to them that you're not really interested in them and that like you're more turned on by the thought of all of them together, like that's probably a better way of handling this, instead of leading all of them on when they're clearly interested in you when you want something very different. You gotta manage expectations with one another, and that can't happen without goddamn communication. But they don't give a shit about that, Shaun.
No?
No, not a goddamn lick. So she runs off, and then as she runs off by her lonesome, because now she's a pretty girl all alone, a couple of schoolboys show up, and they're bad boys, they're tough guys, and so they start casually molesting her, and that was not great. It was just so we can get some nice bad damsel in distress nonsense, you see, so we can tell these guys are bad. So then all of her harem can show up and kick their asses. And then the festival ends with a dance, and she's a bit stressed, so she doesn't want to dance. So they end up dancing with each other, and oh man, there's the boy love. But here's the thing, this show, which is like, oh yeah, what about this fantasy of boy love? What about this fantasy of boy love? It hasn't done much to develop or imply even a lot of boy love at all. Like, other than them being guys, you would have think that it would have wanted to fuel those fires. But if you want those fires fueled, this show does hardly anything to do that. Go watch Haikyuu if you want those fuels fired. Like, come the fuck on. If you want a show that at very least a major theme is boy love, you gotta actually throw a bone to that crowd once in a while. This show doesn't even do that well.
I mean, it does sometimes. I mean, in the first episode, Edgy Boy fell asleep on Other Boy.
Yeah, but like, is that enough though? Like, why are we having boys fall into Kaie's breasts when instead you could have them fall into each other's groins? Is all I'm saying. Come on, up your game up.
What, you want some accidental I mean, I suppose.
I'm offended that there hasn't been enough. I think there needs to be trashiness on both sides.
Oh, there are in just the right shows, but this one doesn't seem to want to pull the trigger, does it?
No, and it's wildly disappointing.
Yeah.
So overall, this show, it's just sort of trashy and really ill-conceived. It could have been interesting. It has a lot of nice ingredients to it, but it fucks it up on all counts. It's just annoying, and it has terrible messages and ideas within it that it's somewhat self-aware and will occasionally be like, yeah, it's a little bit bad, isn't it? But then it'll keep going with it. And that doesn't fucking work.
Well, Rem, what if I told you I had a way of possibly redeeming the show or condemning it even further?
Chances are it will be the latter, but I am interested in hearing.
Okay, so if you care at all about the main storyline of this series, to completion or whatever,
Oh, God.
I haven't read everything bit by bit, but I've skimmed through the majority of the manga just to see where it all ended up because I was curious.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, it does end with a romance, and she does end up with your favorite boy.
I mean, it's the only one that makes sense, but also, here's the thing. When watching this show, I don't know what I'm supposed to be rooting for. Like, am I supposed to be rooting for her being with any of the individual guys? Not really, because everyone is a fuckboy except chill-ass bro. But even then, chill-ass bro, I don't want him getting stuck with her. Meanwhile, am I supposed to want the boy love to happen? Am I supposed to be in her shoes and think, oh, what a great fantasy that would be? But that's also not great. You can't just impose certain sexualities onto other individuals, especially when there's no chemistry there. And once again, everyone is a fuckboy. Like, it just doesn't work out. So I don't even know what I'm supposed to root for in this show.
Oh, but Rem, that's not the part that'll either redeem the show or condemn the show for you.
Oh, fuck. All right, do share.
Now, this is the biggest spoiler of them all, and it can be read one of two ways, and I'm curious to see which way you'll take it.
All right, if you're uninterested in spoilers, who knows, maybe Dylan will cut it out. If not, he cut this bit out. If you are not interested in spoilers, just hit that forward ahead 15 seconds.
Yep. She gets fat again.
Why? What?
No, she gets fat again.
Oh, okay. Okay, that depends very much how it's handled.
I could not give you the details because that would be too much, but
Okay. It could be handled very tactfully. Knowing this show, it's not. At best, it's like, oh, acceptance. But after the entirety existence of this show, you can't just pretend that's your message.
Oh yeah, no. Basically, the plot flow.
Oh God, it pretends that's the message, doesn't it, Shaun?
The plot.
It pretends that the whole show is one of accepting yourself.
I mean, the plot threads around this particular plot point essentially revolve around how the guys feel about this situation now, and them coming to accept it. Isn't that sweet, Remington?
Oh my God, I hate this show so fucking much.
Except for the only redeemable guy who didn't care to begin with.
This show right here, it's everything wrong with society.
So
this show is 2020's mascot.
Oh my God. So you're saying that all the guys in this show would not wear a mask in public?
You're damn right they would. I mean, they probably would because they're Japanese. But
okay,
if they weren't Japanese, then they would. I mean, then they wouldn't. God damn it. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm done.
Then there's, I suppose, one important question that we should at least try and answer. Is it 5x7 or 7x5?
Oh, God. It's a distinction without a difference.
I feel like it's a very important distinction, but that's fine. All right, Remington. Then
I'll say 5x7, though I forget which one that is.
I'll tell you.
I don't remind me. I don't give a shit.
It's okay, Rem, because it doesn't matter. And without further ado, Rem, my final question for you is, would you by chance want to watch some more Kiss Him, Not Me with me?
Dear God, hell no. Fuck that, no.
Are you sure?
I am very, very sure.
Okay. Here I am trying to be equal opportunity, but, you know, it is what it is. Thank everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you would like to support us, we do have a little bit of house cleaning we'd like to take care of just so you guys can have a better understanding of what we would like from you. First and foremost, if you would be so kind as to leave a review on whatever platform you listen on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, or if you really want to help us grow, word of mouth is an excellent way to do it. Secondarily, if you'd like to support us more directly, we do in fact have a Patreon, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus content, content, including our lovely pre-banters, early access to episodes, and occasional bonus episodes, as well as the chance to have your name announced publicly on our show. And Remington, who are some of the lovely people that we need to thank this week?
Briefly, I'm going to mention Apple Podcast reviews are ridiculously helpful. Go do that. I know you're probably listening on Spotify. I see the statistics, but just hop on over. It helps so ridiculously you don't even know. Anyway, we would like to thank, of course, all of our Bland Bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who have been putting in great work. But we have to move a step up to the yandere waifus, who with every weapon imaginable are just waiting to slit our throats in the middle of our rest. And for that, we start with Rare Kumiko, Devin McCutcheon, Psylocke the Defiled thirsts for your light, Andrew Rowicki, Ross Palmer, Mechazap, Hito Kirix, Sage Schiffner, Matthew B, Reverse Kismo, Cat Zodiac, Kazu Morocco, Rem Apologize for the High Q EP, Nope, Sarah Birch, Chase Fredette, Nixu, Salty Pretzel, Xerix, McAlex, Jacob Livingston, Konnichiwa Yamatoro Shaun Rollins Koi desu, fuck, Glenn Michael Dolan, Juliana, Alexander Nasiensenyo, Farmer, why haven't we done a Centaur's Life Weeb? H. Wood, Hayden Lecker. Absolutely every single one of you are fantastic, even the ones with questionable names on Patreon. We really appreciate it, but there is a tier above. We go on to the Boy Wizard tier, representing by Elijah Wood himself. On this tier, we have Pilkster. Pilkster, you are a true prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay,
Meanwhile,
what the fuck?
Don't worry about it. We have Delina Perez, who is a card-carrying member of the Order of the Phoenix. We have Adam Kraft, who is the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Eternitarian, who's been delving into the Chamber of Secrets, and Miguel DeLeon, I'm gonna always mess up your name. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, you are the cursed child, so not great. But you know,
you can't make somebody the cursed child.
It's good in person. It's good live, Miguel. It's just like on paper, it's a bit shit.
God.
We love you because we know you. I'm so sorry, Miguel.
You left out the fucking Sorcerer's Stone, jackass.
No, I left out many of them. I left out quite a few of them. Doesn't matter. I got all the good ones. Am I right?
Oh.
So now
Oh, God.
That's going to be wildly contentious. So then we move on even higher away from Hogwarts. We go to the White House, represented by Chevano Musco Corey in the house, the greatest of all anime. And for this, we of course have to start out with the patron saint himself, the first, the only Saint. And you know what? This time everyone's getting their own classic Disney Channel show. So Saint, you are Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Then on the flip side of things, we have the almighty sinner. And that's so Raven is yours, almighty sinner. Congratulations, you have psychic powers.
This is subtly turning into your opinion of these quote-unquote classic Disney Channel shows, and I'm curious to see where this goes.
We, of course, have villain in glasses, Zachary Shirley, and if you're going to be a villain in glasses, then you have to be Even Stevens. Pretty villainous show. We have Thick Mullet, the thickest of all mullets, very, very presidential. I'm going to say that you are Wizards of Waverly Place. Very magical, thick mullet right there. We have the Silicon Spectre, and you know what? Something that has great tits and is very ghastly, that's gotta be Kim Possible. And
Okay, wow. Ha ha. I see your point.
Then we have Emoto Ahigao Uwu, and that is going to be, you know what? The one that has the best Ahigao face has to be Phil of the Future. You remember that? Not many people would.
Oh, God.
But oh, God. I feel bad for that one. Subs better than dubs, Baka. Well, congratulations. You are none other than the Proud Family.
Wow,
and then
you are going some deep cuts here, my man. What's next? Boy Meets World?
I don't even... Was that Disney?
I'm pretty sure
I don't think that was Disney.
Wasn't it?
I don't think Boy Meets World was Disney. I don't know. Get a fact check on that one. I'm calling bullshit. as I call bullshit, we get to the touchy diplomat who's also calling bullshit. And oh fuck, you know what? You're right. God damn it.
Ha!
Oh wait. I don't know. Girl Meets World is Disney, but was Boy Meets World? The world may never know. Who knows?
Boy Meets World Network, Disney Channel.
Oh fuck. Touchy diplomat, you are not Boy Meets World. Instead, you are Phineas and Ferb. Congratulations.
Oh, see, that's the best one.
It's a good one. And then Cass ID, aka Shaun's favorite. We have to go, of course, then with Shaun's favorite Disney Channel show. He would never admit it, but Hannah Montana. And that is the list. You guys are all absolutely fantastic. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Your contributions do so much for us.
Even if your names get increasingly more difficult to pronounce, but honestly, I think that's part of the charm.
Yeah, they're just trying to make my job more and more difficult. They're like, oh yeah, you want this money? Fucking earn it.
So if you want the chance to have Remington horribly mispronounce your name, then check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. We don't drop the link enough, but I figure people at least use some semblance.
Everyone has Google.
Yeah. But Googling is so hard.
It's true. It's such a chore. And if you would like to contact us directly, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, then you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, don't fuck your sister. A single penis can make all the difference, and you can quote me on that.